What's going on, guys? It's Asad Hashim Ali back again with another episode of Behind the Grind. I love doing these little intros. So, this episode that you guys are about to listen to is with an old buddy of mine, Bilal Hamid, who was here in the second podcast, the second episode where I had a guest on. As usual, Behind the Grind is that show where we sit with people whose story I admire, whose grind I admire. And Bilal is someone who is not just a friend of mine, but he's like a brother figure. He's like a mentor figure to me. And in general, we do spend a lot of time together. So this episode is back from when the quarantine had just started. We were socially distancing ourselves. And overall, it was a pretty good conversation because we talk about how my company, Backspace, started the whole work from home, how it adapted to the situation as well, and what I was doing in general at that time. I look back at this episode and I think that, yeah, I kind of still am doing the same things. I'm trying to maintain a routine. I'm trying to stay positive as well. Not beating myself up too much if I'm not as productive as I'd like to be, and that's perfectly all right. But at the end of the day, I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you do like it, I'd highly appreciate it if you could actually share this around with people. Spread the word about Behind the Grind. Love everyone's support. Not that there's that many, but it's good to know that there are well wishers out there. Thank you very much for listening thus far. Hope you enjoyed the rest of the episode of Behind the Grind.
Hello, Asad. Thank you for joining us on the show.
My pleasure. The real Bilal Hamid show.
And simultaneously casting on this on the Asad Hashim Ali, Behind the Grind.
Yes.
Good show. Yeah, there are many things I want to talk to you about today.
Mm-hmm.
The first question that comes to mind is, how is your daily routine different now, post lockdown, than it was before lockdown? In terms of, let me give you context. In terms of what hours do you wake up, what hours do you sleep, how much time do you spend with family, how much time are you working, how much time do you get to work out? Yes, obviously we understand that the places are going to be different, but how much of the routine that Asad Hashim Ali was following in his schedule is he following till today?
So I think that at the start of the lockdown, actually, my routine was very similar to how it was pre-lockdown. So pre-lockdown, I'd wake up by 7 o'clock, hit the gym in the morning at 8, get to work, close off work, have tuitions also, and then twice a week, thrice a week, be home by 9 or something. And not much family time in that, except for the meals, especially dinner. But now what's happened is that I tried to follow that same routine, actually.
So you wake up at 7 a.m. still?
Initially I was in the first few weeks, but then I couldn't sustain that.
Why not?
My natural alarm clock also wasn't waking up. But being my mother. So before I also had to wake up because my mom would wake up as well.
Okay.
Because I had to drop her. But now what I think a blessing in disguise for me in this is actually some more family time and some more time to myself, because what we all realized very quickly was that the excessive amounts of screen time was becoming very toxic for the whole team. And that allowed me also to, in the evenings, keep 1 hour and 2 hours aside just for myself. And it actually ended up being a good 3-4 hour break in the middle.
This is now you go on to
screen.
the evening. Let me backtrack for the morning for a second.
Okay.
So now you wake up at what time?
Now I'm up by 8:15.
Okay. And are you sleeping at the same time as before?
I try to. So by 12:30, I'm knocked out.
So you're actually sleeping similar times, but waking up an hour later.
Yeah.
So are you, is there any difference in energy levels?
Energy levels, I think, are now a lot more consistent. It's pretty fluid. I don't have those afternoon shutdown moments that I used to have in the past.
Okay.
But one thing that is there is that if energy levels are consistent throughout the day, sometimes motivation levels aren't, rather. That's the tricky part of all of this.
So we'll talk about motivation also. We'll get there. But I just wanted to know your routine. You're lucky. You're good. You're on the schedule at 8 o'clock. So you get breakfast in the morning. Then you hit work at what time?
By 9:25, 9:30, laptops on, check in with the team, start the day off like that. Yeah.
Do you guys all get ready? Or at least do you get ready before check-in?
Yes, definitely. I'm not wearing jeans anymore. I'm wearing some chino shorts.
Nice.
That's for sure.
But you're still ready.
I'm still ready. Yeah, I'm not in my PJs of any sort. So
yeah.
And I try to, and so funny enough, actually, when we started the lockdown, that's one of the things that I wrote in a manual for the whole team. we gave them this little document for them to try to follow to adjust to the work life at home.
Could you give us some of the highlights of the document if you
So
can?
the first thing was actually make sure that you set up and make yourself feel like you're going to work. So that means that your workstation should be in a separate spot in the house. Try not to work from your bed. Try not to work from a sofa. Isolate yourself as far as possible.
I agree with that.
The
yeah.
second thing was, and in that would be also your attire.
Yeah.
The second actually point in that was check in with your team, check in with your colleagues, schedule that time to engage with one another. After the team huddle in the morning, feel free to continue with another call just to have breakfast together over Meet or Zoom or something. And
So do you have that with your team? Like, do you have just like random check-ins, like a voice call or a
yeah,
video
yeah,
call?
yeah. We do that. So what we've done is actually at the start of things we were having we had 2 check-ins a day, and we still have 2 check-ins a day. So at 9:30 and then at 3 p.m.
Okay.
And then that means that you have casual talk also in there. You see what the deliverables are like, but then you also with the cup of chai, if you like. But then
This is the whole team.
there's the whole team.
So how many of you on the screen?
9.
9 of you on the whole
9 of
screen.
us.
9 of
Yeah,
us.
yeah,
The
yeah.
3x3 matrix, huh?
Yeah.
I take a screenshot next time for me,
I
will
will,
you?
for
Yeah.
sure. And then
That'd be
what
nice.
we've also started in is we should find a better word for it, but it's called venting time. So
I think that's perfectly fine. I was
Yeah.
like, I think it's precise enough.
yeah. So what we do is that if anyone,
Yeah, are you venting about your clients?
well, let's not talk about that. But no, we've opened up our doors. Nagin and I have opened up our virtual doors to just have a conversation with anyone at any time they feel that they don't have to feel that it has to be at a particular hour. They don't have to feel that it has to be about a particular agenda. It could also be that we recognize that someone in our team isn't doing too well, and we actually call them up and just have a conversation. And that could actually be without the webcam. That could be over the phone. That could be in any way they feel comfortable,
Okay.
just so that they know that we're there for them, and that if they need someone to just talk to, even if they don't need to hear anything in return, we're there for them in that regard too.
That's
More like a
nice.
confession stand in a church.
Okay. I see. So you got 2 check-ins, and you're getting in touch with clients also and doing your work all day.
Yes.
So when do you check out of work? What time is that?
I'd like to say by 5:30.
But
But sometimes it just feels like the work doesn't end because
do you feel the work is slow? The same work takes a little longer now in this time?
more or less because now before if there was an obstacle of proximity, now the obstacle is also a internet bandwidth.
Yeah, internet bandwidth. Yeah,
That's a
man.
problem,
That's true. And some locations don't. So even if you can afford the best internet, you just are tied to locations. Some locations don't have things like
Yes.
Storm Fiber
Yes,
or
yes.
Transpearl or one of the faster connections.
Mhm. Yeah. And so it sometimes is taking longer to get something done also because there's no instant communication. I think the most
Huh.
sorry you
No. Continue.
the most like instant communication would be that if I was with you physically to troubleshoot a problem, then it'd take 30 seconds.
I've taken a couple of leaves from gamers because gamers would game from home.
Yeah.
So what I discovered, this little problem that you have, I'm actually going to institute this in our company, is that there's an app called Discord. It runs like Slack. It has channels for chat, but it also has, for each channel that you also have a text channel and a voice channel. And the voice channel is always on.
Really?
So you just connect on the voice channel,
Yeah.
and anybody who's on that channel, you can just say, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
So like you can literally just keep on working and everybody else is working, but the voice channel is on in the background. You don't hear anything till somebody speaks.
Yeah.
So it's casual. It's not like you have to connect on a Zoom call and keep your bandwidth running for a Zoom call or
Yeah.
any other Google Meet or all that.
Yeah.
But that's what they use. They put on the headphones and then they just talk to anybody. They work all day and they just. So I tried this with a couple of my colleagues and it was fun. It was actually not bad.
Really?
Yeah. So you just put it on the background.
You didn't feel distracted by, for example, if someone on the other end of the call has something going on in their house, you don't feel that
because
sound is
so
distracting?
Discord does a very good thing. It filters out all the ambient noise.
Oh, really?
So you only hear the person's voice.
Okay.
So you don't hear anything else. That's why it's better than a Zoom call, because Zoom call, you hear everything. Discord's voice channels were designed for this only communication.
Wow.
So because even because gamers have this problem, they don't want to hear everybody's household coming
Yeah.
in. So they fix this. And the gaming industry
Unless you're a
is
stereotypical gamer who's in the basement of their house, like in a dark room with just the screen on.
पाकिस्तान में कितनी basements हैं यार,
वही बात है ना,
जिनके
हाँ।
पास हैं उनके पास और बहुत कुछ भी है.
लेकिन ये एक पाकिस्तानी ने तो नहीं बनाया होगा ना ये.
Yeah. But this works pretty well. So I'd say try that. And
Yeah.
another tool I use is one-on-one buddies. So I have one at my work. So what we do is we connect. He's doing his work, I'm doing my work, and we'll keep on. While we're working, we'll just share a tidbit or two. Hey. So we've actually spent 2-3 hours working on our own things.
Okay.
But just वो लगा हुआ है, हमने audio on किया वैसे.
Yeah.
अच्छा, hey, did you try this? Oh, this is so much fun. And then we'll go back to our work. And he'll walk up and go out and get coffee and come back. And
Yeah.
I'll walk around and then he'll come back. And pairing helps you feel connected.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
it's not as stressful as 4 people talking, because when 4 people are in a room, then somebody's always going to talk.
That's true, yeah.
So it's like office space also. So, individual office space might get boring, and
Yeah.
a room of 5 people might become too loud. But a room of 2 or 3,
Yeah.
ideal size room for working.
Uh-huh.
And that's the kind of thing you can have for these channels also. Make squads
Interesting.
of 2 or 3.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Should give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why this has come to me now is because my month in quarantine has been very opposite to yours.
Really? How so?
Well, the first 3 weeks, because I was already well prepared with all of this stuff. I already had
Yeah,
known
you
this
uplifted your entire office and brought it home.
Absolutely, I knew this was going to happen, so I got everything I needed. I packed. I spent one whole day packing. Everybody in the office thought, what crazy guys is doing. I just sorted all the tech out and gave everybody all the tech they needed.
Yeah.
Just maybe everybody has all the tech. So I got the tech home, I got my hardware home, I got my tables home and everything else, and I got my room. I took over my brother's room. And I was troubleshooting the same things I was doing the day before we got locked down. And I was doing that for 3 weeks. I didn't even take weekends. I didn't even let it sink in. I am in lockdown. I was living with the world being in lockdown, but I didn't think. I was just in my mode of work. And literally at some point, it just burned me out. I just this is not what I want to be doing.
Yeah.
So the last 2 weeks have just been a little less of that, a little more of me reading, listening to music while I'm reading, doing my work, organizing my thoughts. There is work. Absolutely, there is work. But now I've taken a little more control over that. 2-3 days, I actually just checked out of work. I was working, but I was not talking to anybody. And a few things I've become, like if I go to my routine is not so good. I'd like to get up in the morning, but I'm not getting up before 9:30, 10 easy.
Yeah.
Not before that. I'd like to get up before that, but wo nahi ho raha. But then again, I also was so used to the solitude at night, working alone always. And I want to change that. But the setting and all that stuff, I get it. But I didn't connect to too many people. Like this huddling with your team, I don't get to do more of as much. And I will plan to now. I think I was more concerned with how everybody else is handling this than I am.
Yeah.
I didn't care about how I'm handling this, and now I realize I should have.
Because was it for you that initially at the start of all of it and pre-lockdown, that those hours at night were always dedicated to hours of solitude, and
Always
now
sort
it's
of singular work.
of singular work,
Yeah,
and now that's spread out throughout the day, so you're a little frazzled by why is it like this, or that
No, wo
I
nahi
was
hua. Actually,
accustomed
what
to-
happened was that because I was so used to working at night, now there was no getting up in the morning to go to work. So I just kept working at night, late nights, and that just physically burned me out.
Right.
Not that, okay, I'm not emotionally affected by being at home, even though I was the guy who would not stay at home for this long.
Yeah.
And I've hardly stepped out once for the groceries. That's it. I have not stepped out. And, nobody's comes over to my place. You're the only person who comes over.
Yeah.
And that too, I keep him 6 feet away, guys. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he comes once in 2 weeks, has a cup of coffee because I stole the machine. So, they come for the coffee. But yeah, so my thing was that I didn't realize, like I was more worried about how everybody else is keeping up, and I don't want to push my team too much. So I let them settle in. But I was pushing myself to ungodly hours.
Yeah.
And till 4 a.m., 3 a.m. working some nights. Just constant. Literally just working, getting up for dinner, going back to my desk. Literally that was it. Lunch, desk. Dinner, desk. Back. And because I used to work like that, but I used to work less at home like that, but I still do. But now it was the whole day, and then that's, I think, physically burned me out.
Yeah.
And I realized that, you know what? This is the perfect time. The world has stopped in a way. So it's okay to be a little slow.
So, and you know what? I have a point to add in there. Is
Yeah.
that I think at the start of this whole lockdown, companies around the world tried their level best to equip their team and their employees with whatever they need to adjust to the situation as comfortably as possible. And the leaders of that organization or those institutions felt that we need to try and make sure that business remains as usual, business operates as usual, except for the circumstance that we're not in one physical space anymore. And in that process, we ended up forgetting ourselves also, and ended up forgetting how we are adjusting to it. So at the start of it, many leaders, and I would also say that I am a victim to this as well, is that I was overly critical of someone else's behavior of being at home, or someone else's judgments of having to work from home, and not taking it and actually abusing that, or not trying their level best to adjust as well, because it's a two-way street. And then weeks afterwards, I started feeling that, okay, I should maybe empathize more, because now I'm also starting to feel it hit in. I'm starting to feel it settle in a little bit. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that I was a hard ass about it, but it would just frustrate me, is that, man, well, see, everyone's in this situation together. I'm sorry, you might not be having a good day, or your motivation levels are down, but like help me still make sure that we can kick ass with Backspace. But now I'm starting to feel is that, okay, the world has slowed down. Allow myself to slow down as well.
Absolutely.
Allow myself to catch my breath, which is why, so now at the start of it, so what I said earlier was that the day sometimes feels like it doesn't end, because there's this endless screen time. So now what I've done is that by 5 o'clock, for 5:30, when I'm checking out, I go for a bike ride, or I'm working out, and I won't open up my laptop again to study or to research or to do anything up until 9 p.m. Right? And if some nights there's no work happening, it's perfectly all right. Good. There's no need to beat myself up about it by thinking that this is the time to act, this is the time to find opportunities and so on. Like, you can take a breather.
And I want to add that I completely agree with you. And I think I want to just add a couple of things here. That I think the office space, we are fortunate enough to have comfortable homes to do the work in. But a lot of people we work with, a lot of people that we worked across, don't have that comfort 100%. At home. They would come to work to find that peace, to give work 8 hours dedicated.
Yes,
and 100%. Now what's happened is that, like, हम एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं सुबह वो काम करेंगे, लेकिन उनके घर में बच्चे होते हैं, काम वाली होती है, घर की सफाई करनी होती है, जैसे काम वाला घर पे नहीं है, तो you have to pitch in to clean the house in the morning. You can't clean the house in the night. So in that same work time,
you've got 10 other things to do.
They have other things to do. They're going to take care of the kid, help out for lunch also, clean up the house also. And then you'll have people walking in and just having a porous conversation from the household and the work. And so I think people should realize that, at least in this stage, for those who don't have because people used to work from home before, and we see in the West do that, they had time enough to organize the work from home, and they could get more work done from home because others were not working from home. They could still get deliveries done. They could still have sending their agents to places. Now everybody is working from home. And I think if people can get 4 to 5 hours of manageable work at home and the work time, that's great. We can expect more.
Bilkul.
And then some people say, let me work at night. But the problem now becomes is that the reason why work never stops at home is because there's no trigger to get off work. At work, it was you just get in your car and go home. That's a trigger to stop work. Here, there's no trigger. For me, I still have to find that trigger. What's the trigger to stop work? Because it's not like we have unlimited space in the house. Some are lucky enough to have more space than others, but you have one corner. उसी में आपने काम भी करना है, उसमें relax भी करना है, बातें भी करनी है, पढ़ना भी है. You can't read in the lounge when families are watching TV. You end up reading in the same place as you're working, and then your laptop is right there, and it's very hard to say no to the laptop.
And I think that all of us also need to be a lot more aware of the fact that, again, we can to add into what you're saying, that from a client perspective, from a vendor perspective, or from any other like partner perspective also, just because we're all home doesn't mean that we're all working from home. That though there are hours, it is not unlimited. I would say so much as I said, this is a time, even during the recession, where agencies would feel the need to go ham with their clients and to give them like extra support and go crazy with it. But then you also have to cut it off. I think it's not appropriate for you to schedule a call at any given hour of the day now, like just because we're all home. Just because we're home now, you know.
I know.
Of course, it requires. I'm just not gonna bring in the consent part of it, but like, just don't do that to yourself.
Yeah, or maybe some companies can be helpful enough or can be novel enough to realize, okay, you know what? 9 to 5 work better because you have to travel to one place and it took time. You don't want to have to come to work twice a day. But sometimes people can actually divide their work into two halves of work. Like for example, in my head, I divided two halves. I have 4 hours a day in the daytime because I know that things gonna come in the day. Manahil hoti hai, I've got to have lunch and I've got to spend time at home or whatever else, talking, taking care of things. So
Yeah.
maybe you, instead of having 8 hours stretch, some people can have 5 and 3.
Yes. Yeah.
You know,
so
I do 7 to 10 in the night. I think that's a great time to work.
I actually said this to one of the team members actually yesterday. Was that if you feel that he was telling me, he's like, man, I said my house is a little small. I've got the baby as well. My mom's there. Grandparents are downstairs. It's pretty fluid, like, walk through.
Yeah.
I said, like, let's do this. Let's do one thing. You tell me what are the 8-hour pockets in the day that would suit you, and you give me that schedule.
Perfect.
And you
Wow.
tell me that, okay, I'm just going to ask you for two things: to check in at 9:30 and to check in at 3 p.m. In between that, at night, you can put in 3 hours of focused work, 2 hours of focused work here, 1 hour focused work there. You give me those hours, and then I will then be obliged to, check in with you at that time and to
Yeah.
see how things are going at that time, because I need to make sure that's easy for you as well.
How do you guys also doing check-ins through non-video work? Like I remember you guys used to use Basecamp, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
saw-
And if anything, I think, Slack as well.
Slack?
is open the whole time. Yeah,
That's nice.
for sure.
That's nice.
Yeah.
For a small team, Slack is not too busy with the
Yeah,
text. Like
yeah.
a 8-10 people team, I think is a
And
good
also, we
size.
haven't put in any like plugins for GIFs and stuff, so it also doesn't like pollute the space.
Yeah. And I think writing. One thing I've actually started doing. I've realized something that we become so used to and so what's the word? Inclined to answer texts in three words, but we'll send 5 texts one after the other with three words each,
Yeah.
where there could have been a 115-word sentence.
Yes.
And that 115-word sentence gives it the flow. Because if you write, and I'm consciously trying to do that now, I'm trying to,
Yeah.
and I forget, and I pick up, I was like, Bilal, no, you can write a longer form text. And I think one of the things that I've realized in this time is that, look, there are things that feed our soul, and there are things that we should be more worried about than just productivity. Like I realize how important, like I'm really digressing, but ek to cheez thi ke how to write better is something I'm learning, because I think if we can write our thoughts better and give that to somebody to read, it's a much more efficient way to get your points across than to talk to them on a video face to face.
Yeah.
I noticed something, that we had a meeting and it lasted for 1 hour with 5 people, and only 3 of us spoke maybe for 15 minutes each, and the others spoke for 5 minutes each.
Mm-hmm.
While those who only spoke for 5 minutes were listening for 55 minutes.
Yeah.
But if we were efficient enough, our 15 minutes could have been long form text in a document, and then the person who's speaking less could have read the whole thing in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But we wasted people's time by best being a video call. So I'm trying to even do the less video calls. That's something in my head right now. I didn't start it, but I want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so something based on what you just said, at the start of the whole lockdown, and actually at the start of the pandemic, actually, when it spread all the way to Europe and the USA, a thought came to my mind about all the behavioral changes which we might be experiencing in the near future, trends which might be changing, or escalation of trends which have existed in the past. For example, I just saw a figure from Daraz actually, that the search volume on Daraz has increased by 70% in the span of a month since the lockdown. And 23rd April will mark one entire month for Karachi at least having been under a lockdown. 23rd March is when it happened. So keeping in mind that, and I'm not trying to glorify working from home by any way, but what I think what has happened for me personally is that it's opened my eyes up and given me some perspective to a new way of working for the East in that sense. So
Yeah.
it was very common in the West. It was very common in that's how the gig economy works, right?
Yeah.
Remotely. But for me, up until recently, we were trying to find a space, right? We were trying to find a physical space.
Yeah.
We had to move out of our offices.
And we still need to find that space.
Now, hear me out on this.
Okay.
We were actually, it would have been this month where we would have to start the shift,
Yeah.
right? And then after Ramzan, we would make the shift official if we were to follow those timelines. Now, I'm thinking, why invest in a space when it's been a month for my team to be working remotely? I know what some of the obstacles are, whether that be more tech issues, or that be internet issues, or that be hours. We can make that flexible. And instead of spending on rent and overheads, at 6 figures a month, let's just bring that down by a fraction and rent out a space once a week for everyone to huddle and collab and meet up and maintain business as usual in the remote sense. And whereas in my case, if anyone's going for a shoot, that pickup point of equipment would be my house. And I would end up investing in people's in the team's internet and the team's tech and the team's equipment and the team's facilities.
Yeah, but I think when you break it down, let's do the math for this.
Yeah.
Because I like the idea, but I would have taken it a different way. But let's take your idea, for example. Let's say you want to invest in good internet.
Yeah,
At least 30 Mbps, 40 Mbps.
perhaps. Yeah,
That's about 5,000 rupees a month for each employee.
yeah,
You have 10, that's 50,000 rupees a month.
yeah,
So yeah. Then you want to also ensure that they have the hardware to continue having better conversations.
yeah,
Let's say you want to give everybody, because now they'll be uploading videos also, right?
Yeah.
So they might have hardware, additional hardware, cloud storage is more, right?
yeah,
And that kind of stuff. And the same thing, yeah, you might save them some money on coffee also. And in short term, it makes sense. But if you think about it, a lot of learning happens when people are together physically without
osmosis.
I don't know
Yeah.
osmosis is a very technical term in chemistry. It means the
Yeah.
movement of water, but I like how marketeers pick up science words and
That's what we
But
do. That's what
yes, we
economists
do.
do, right? We took
Yeah.
equilibrium from physics. We're taking
Yes.
osmosis from you guys.
so I think that I wouldn't go far as making this a norm. What I would like to do is this. I'd like to give people, I want to make it the best for everybody.
Yeah,
So what I can do is instead of having a space for 10 people,
Mhm.
I might have a space for 5 people.
yeah,
So I have less space to pay for and say, oh, everybody only comes 3 days a week to work instead of 6 days a week to work.
mm-hmm.
But you choose 3 days. Which 3 days? And you can have your teams come in remotely. Like if you have squads come in, a particular squad can come in together on one day,
yeah,
then work from home the next day. So the reason is work from home can still happen.
yeah,
They don't have to drive all the way to work. They save
Yeah.
on that. But they still connect. So because eventually long term working from home for many things is not going to be possible.
yeah,
Yes, it looks good and a gig economy. And I understand that there's some roles can be done this way.
yeah,
But when you talk about personal growth and long term, I think nobody's really worked from home in a 35-year career
yeah,
yet. And those who have are probably entrepreneurs who have their own personal brands, like people like Seth Godin,
yeah,
who their homes are their actual offices and everybody else works from an office.
Yeah.
And they are the ones home in a way.
yeah.
So, or maybe whoever works with them on this gig economy
So in a way, they've bought that luxury.
yeah. And even if the people who work for them, those people might not be permanent employees for 30 years. They might be 5 years for 1 year. Then somebody else
Yeah,
comes in. So
yeah.
sustainable, there's a lot of growth that happens at work that we will never be able to do at home.
Yeah,
Like for some people, it's not possible. For some people, they will give up. They will want to work from home some days. And
Yeah.
I completely agree. I think if one should facilitate, one thing I've realized now is that if I'm wanting people to facilitate who work at home, I would want to subsidize their internet. I'd say,
Yeah.
you know what? I want you to upgrade your internet. I did that with one of my employees. He's working on 10 Mbps. I said, call your company, Storm Fiber, upgrade to 50 Mbps, and I'll pay the difference. So he's already paying for 10 Mbps. The difference I pay for is $3,000.
yeah,
And then if I say, you know what, and maybe eventually if they don't come in 3 days a week, the amount of petrol they save might cover up that cost. So I get that. And I think
Yeah.
but once a week of meeting is still less.
Hmm.
I mean, we're all dying to hang out with each other and to talk to each
Yeah,
other.
yeah,
That human connection, we are social animals.
Yeah.
We want to, just sharing one like this is what me and Abul did 2 days ago, yesterday. I want, like how we say, hey, Asad, listen to the song I just heard. We
Yeah.
played and we both are enjoying that. It is special because in that time frame, we both are enjoying that piece of music together.
Together, yeah.
That is something magical about music. That's why people go to cinemas. It's the experience enjoying it together. Alone,
Yeah.
anybody can watch it. So, but this is how crazy we did it. We timed our YouTube play to the second. I would tell him, count down till you hit play, and I'm going to hit play. So that we could be hearing each other and seeing each other's reaction while he's listening to it on his own. And that was a makeshift solution.
Yeah.
But in a real
that's
world,
the
it would be automatic
togetherness
like this. They're
element,
playing
yeah.
us. And we all want to get away from our family sometimes also, man.
Yeah.
Spending too much time with one set of people is never going to be good.
Yeah.
So work from home of people who live alone and single are easier. For people who live with families, it's crazy.
No, and for those who also live alone, it's actually that was their reason to socialize. Going to work was their source of
ये भी तो है उनके लिए, ये भी तो है. Absolutely. And you meet
Yeah.
random people, you make friends with people. Like right now in this regards, the only friends you have are the ones that you already made at work. You can't make new friends at work right now. But if you're meeting and you had a big company like 30, 40, 50 people, every day is an opportunity to meet somebody new. Have
Yeah.
lunch together.
Yeah.
And you so I
understand those that there are these bonds as well, which need to stay alive. So like the idea is, I understand it is a little, it's not well thought of, but it also the idea.
But now we're thinking about ideas, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
We are thinking
We're
about
forced
it.
to think, yeah, and
Yeah.
so I'm also trying to think about it from a sustainability aspect, and I don't mean like sustainable for my business in the long term. I mean sustainable for the planet as well. I think
agree
that
with you.
all of this, what has just been two big thoughts which have come to my mind since then has been behavioral shifts and behavioral changes, along with sustainability measures that every business now needs to be accounting for, and
Yeah.
how can they ensure that they that is adopted in their business plans.
You know, a good solution to this, a mixed solution of working from home, working in office, is by a company that has been doing this for a while now in Brazil. Similar industries. What they do is, instead of having one large headquarters,
Yeah.
they have like 30 smaller offices spread across the whole city
Really?
with the same functionality. And you can choose to go to that office that is closest to your house. So it
Great.
reduces travel time,
Yeah.
petrol, smog, pollution,
Yeah.
and you still meet some people.
Yeah.
You know, it might be fluid. You could but those companies have to be large enough to have that flexibility.
Yeah.
But people like us, like I'm thinking for our small organizations that we're setting up, I'm thinking like when we go back, maybe we rotate staff. Like we were already doing that. Like a couple of people were already working from home twice a week who lived far away. I might say, you know what, only come 3 days a week, and come work from home 3 days a week.
Yeah.
But uske liye, we are right. We have to be a little more, like how you guys use Basecamp.
Yeah.
A little more structure and working from home is required.
Yes. Yes.
I agree.
And I think also being nimble throughout the change.
Yeah.
Bearing
Absolutely.
in mind that you need to remind yourself that you are willing to exercise some form of change in your operation. So be patient with it. Don't rush it. Don't let the frustration get to you as well.
Yeah. And I think that we can add a few things in our repertoire to make the work desk at home also comfortable. You know, like I was looking at some videos on YouTube
Yeah.
where I saw people investing their time and effort in making their desk space more cozy, more homely,
Yeah.
and also facilitate. Like, so I already had this tech that would facilitate me. Like literally, like I'd have like simple things like an external mouse, a desktop,
Yeah.
a keyboard, a monitor,
Yeah.
so that my neck doesn't strain on my laptop for 10 hours.
Yeah.
You know, a desk that can become standing, for example, or just have a makeshift desk on desk that we had tried earlier.
Yeah.
That works. Standing work, keeping enough space to move around the house, making sure that you get up every hour and walk around and come back.
Yeah.
You know, small triggers, Pomodoro timers.
Yeah.
These things are gonna come really handy now. I think we are in this for a while now. I mean, I don't foresee us. I'm not too optimistic about vaccinations and anything else coming on. So I think this is going to go on for a bit. I want to add this. I'm sorry, I'm speaking too much. But
Sure, sure.
an epiphany came to me. I mean, I had epiphany keh lo, ya realization keh lo. But I realized that how grounding and how soothing and how human music is. I think that we are so stupid to not surround ourselves with good music for the major part of the day. Why does it have to be silence and chatter only? Like there is a very big place for music in our lives, and a lot of us do not do that. Like I know a majority of people I hang out with, I work with, majority, not all, are not listening to music. Though not even 10% of their awake hours are listening to music. 10% means 2.5 hours. Nobody's listening to music for 2.5 hours. But we'll hear people for hours.
Yeah.
But why not music? Music gets to your soul. It makes you come alive, and it's cheap. It's free. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
You don't have to, I mean, everybody can play music on any device. It is so beautiful.
So you know what? Actually, I released a podcast recently or a video, whatever you want to call it. I'm confused about what I make myself now.
Okay.
I'm so confused that I labeled it Behind the Grand Monologue episode 7 or 8 because I didn't remember which one it was. So I said actually, you know, like people, I opened up on Instagram a poll that, you know, asked me, give me topics to talk about on Behind the Grind. And many students and people in like the same age category actually wrote about like tips on being productive. And that made me think. So side note, I spoke to a few buddies of mine and they both asked me, you have any podcasts to remain productive? And I was like, yeah, the biggest podcast is a kick in your ass. That's how you're going to be productive right now. Like, I don't have time to listen to these things, man. Like, what do you mean that look, I don't have the time to actually sit and listen to, or even like before I was listening to podcasts while driving around or, you know, commuting and stuff. Now I'm not doing that.
You not listen to podcasts?
Not very many. When I go cycling, actually I do. So I managed to try and like feed in three episodes in the past 2 rides, which was good. So I guess that's
podcasts.
now
I mean, if you choose the right people to listen to,
Yeah.
they are like, I was talking to somebody reading a book by
Yeah.
Matt Walker about sleeping,
yeah,
and the book is great.
yeah,
But he's done a series of 5 podcasts with this one doctor called Dr. Peter Attia on the podcast called Drive.
yeah,
3-part uska interview tha, just like we are doing it.
yeah.
A 3-hour long interview. He cut into 3 parts. Then he did 2 AMAs with that fellow.
Really?
5 hours of content just about the science of sleeping, of 2 very smart individuals with the right accent talking to each other.
Yeah.
I'd rather listen to that than read the damn book, because I'm sure whatever he
Because
had to
that's
say
more
in the book.
engaging then, right?
Yeah,
Because you actually
engaging.
hear the person who's written the book also,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So, and the thought process behind it. You see the formula.
Absolutely.
So, but what I was getting at actually was not at my lack of podcast intake, but was that tips on being productive. So I came up with like 5-6 tips. And the 6th one actually, which was like a bonus tip on being productive, was also exercising gratitude and being grateful for all the art which exists in the world. Because right now, the same way how you've used music as an outlet, art itself is an outlet for many people in this state to set free, to hide them, or to like forget about what's happening in the world and to just immerse themselves in that art. So it's like express gratitude for not just your family, for your friends, but for the artists that exist.
Yeah.
Because again, just like in any dark times, when you break your heart, when you lose some money, when you've lost your friends, you put on a sad song
Yes.
and somehow you feel better,
Yeah.
right?
And it's funny how everybody's turning to art form to survive in these times.
Yes.
It is the art form. The art form could be music. The art form is talk shows on TV, funny comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
And
is
then-
like for me, but I've said this before, like for me, Behind the Grind itself is my art. I enjoy the process of making it. Do I feel narcissistic about it? Yes, I do. But it's I'm doing it for myself, most importantly. And if someone else, if people reach out after seeing a few episodes and they're like, thank you so much for saying that struck with me. And that's exactly that fuels me, right?
yeah.
All the appreciation that musicians get, that painters get, that actors get, you know, comedians, that fuels them. That's why they thrive.
Yeah. Actually, there are some like I can relate to your argument about your point about the process is your art form, that you enjoy that. And then there is some people who I've come across. The reason why I mentioned those podcasts, were the people who I come about who are continuously making this form of quote unquote art. Like who spend their time polished. Like I can name you some. I think that's why I'm plugging in some smart people here for people who are following this podcast to look them up. Tim Ferriss is one of them. The guy has battled depression all his life. He's written successful books, but he's still battling it. And he makes it time to make 3 to 4 podcasts. I mean, at least 2 a week he comes out with. Along with that, a blog. Along with that, a 5-minute Friday. Things that he's reading. I'm more connected to him than people in my life right now.
Yeah.
and he keeps and it's his art form.
Yeah,
His
yeah.
art form is giving the people the most bang for the minute they give him.
Yeah.
And either it's his podcast, so if he's doing a podcast with somebody, he'll spend hours researching about what he's going to ask. He'll have his questions written down beforehand.
Yeah.
So he is more efficient. So Tim Ferriss is one in his podcast. I mentioned
Yeah.
Dr. Peter Attia.
Yeah.
This doctor is one of the leading experts in longevity.
Yeah.
And I was listening to his last podcast, and he was mentioning that with Tim Ferriss, this one, that he's making a centenary Olympics for individuals. So that's very fascinating idea. But he also enjoys his art form. Then this is Dr. Ali Abdal. This fellow is a
Yeah, yeah.
Pakistani that me and
Is he
Abul have.
Pakistani?
He's Pakistani.
I
His
thought he was
mother.
like Middle Eastern or something.
No. His mother from Pakistan moved to Kenya when he was somewhere, and then they moved to England.
Okay.
Single mom, 2 brothers. Ali Abdal is one of them. He's a doctor now.
Yeah.
He had a $1 million business before he became a doctor. Self-set-up on teaching for the MCAT and other BCAT or BMAT exams,
Yeah.
the medical school exams in England.
Yeah.
Then he's got, and his art, you should just, and he's a full-time doctor, and he makes at least one video a week, 2 sometimes.
Yeah.
And his art form is the production quality, his font usage, his delivery, his B-roll, and his editing happens somewhere in Germany and it comes back. I don't know what else, but he and I love the way he does his art form. So
Yeah.
that was art. So I was inspired. And yesterday I met this fellow. I came across this so completely randomly about this fellow called Samuel Suresh.
Mm-hmm.
This fellow has only 5-7 videos on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
but his videos are about how he does his note taking. So if you see, and I'll link these guys in this podcast show notes.
Yeah.
You should see the videos. You should see the notes he's made on iPad. It is, and the way he makes them, he's in. That's his art form.
Yeah.
And then the podcast he made is also his art form.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we've also come across people like Peter McKinnon
Yes.
and some of his friends. I forgot their names. Some Dave, some D. The guy he broke up with. I mean, Space. They broke up with.
Matty.
Yeah, Matty. And then Matt
Uh,
Diavella.
Yeah.
And then there's so these guys are their art. They're like I just love the attention to the detail they give to the art form,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's what I want to inspire to be also.
Hmm.
Really. And another person I randomly discovered, this French singer, and I'll after this I'll link his
It's not
song.
Chip Khalid, is it?
Huh?
It's not Chip Khalid, is it?
No, it's not Chip Khalid. His name is Vincent Vanel. And
Okay.
he did a cover of Lose Yourself, Eminem, on The Voice.
Really?
And this cover will blow your socks off. And so I follow this guy, and he's a French guy. I follow him on YouTube and Facebook. And the last 3 days, he's having his live sessions. And like 50 to 60 people connect to his live session only.
Yeah.
But he's in his room, and he's taking requests about creating music.
Yeah.
So he's making music, and he's talking in French. I have no idea what he's speaking. But just that I am, as a human, connecting to this other human sitting in a town somewhere in France, maybe it's Paris, I don't know, in a room smaller than mine with his instruments and just playing for the crowd. And I think this quarantine has made us all a little more connected that way. It has made us realize that there are fewer boundaries and borders for us.
Yeah.
I hope that continues from there also.
Yeah. I actually hope so too. I hope that we come out of this. Like I've been using that hashtag United as one pretty often, and that's actually the base principle of it. That I hope that we come out of this together, with a lot more perspective and a lot more connected, whilst
Yeah.
keeping in mind that we're in a hyper connected world, but we should also spend some time for the sweetness that it has to offer.
I think right now, like for example, we were having this conversation. It's been almost an hour now, and just now we probably take a look at our phones but the last 45 minutes we were just in this conversation only,
Yeah.
and now also.
Yeah.
And I realized that we don't do that for our lives. So like there are times in the last few days that I've forgotten I had a phone, and I realized that those hours were great. Not that the people who connect with me through the phone I don't like. I love them and I want to get back at them, and that's what keeps me replying back
Yeah.
or checking my phone. But why should I? Why can't I just keep the phone away? It just makes me a little more productive. So there are things that we have to start rewiring ourselves about, And I think this time has given us perspective that way also.
Yeah.
Like for example, Why does one have to wake up early only to go to work? It just seems like people are waking up late because the only reason why they woke up early was to go to work. But the human natural clock cycle, I think you have more energy waking up early. So I'm trying to force myself to do that. Even if I don't have to go to work in the morning. Like I have no time, nobody checks in. I have some classes at 4 p.m. and that's it. Like I have other work, but it's very flexible.
Yeah, if we were all in a forest, by the way, our circadian rhythm would force us to go to sleep by 9 o'clock and wake up at 5 o'clock.
Absolutely.
Naturally, like we had no control over that.
If we have no
If-
cell phones with us,
Yes.
no screens.
Yeah. And when I say the forest thing because that means you are in actual isolation from the world.
Actually, you don't need isolation from the world. You can have, even if you grow as groups of friends, if there is no light and screen, if there's no artificial light, you will fall asleep at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
You might have a bulb or two, but you still fall asleep at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And you'll want to wake up at early morning hours because the natural light will wake you up.
Yeah.
I think that's what we need to connect with. We need to get more of that going.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Any final notes, Mr. Bilal?
Oh, we are wrapping up. I mean, this was a nice conversation.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody's going to get much use out of this conversation. I think it's just that I do feel that we did talk about some good points here.
Yeah.
I think that
This is one of the better few that we've done.
yeah, I think thinking about what we want to talk about, taking it slower. I was not too hurried about talking about certain things. I just wanted to know, maybe get some inspiration. Maybe our talks will help people around.
Yeah.
Maybe we have 10 fans each who just like to listen to our voices.
Yeah.
Even they might hear this. Why not? But
I do have one point actually for all the
Absolutely.
crazy kids who are listening to this, and if you've come in this far into the episode,
yeah, if you're coming this far, you deserve something.
Yeah.
Are they giving them some secret money stash? Something?
Well, yeah. Just
Okay.
first finish all 4 episodes of Money Heist, which I still haven't seen by the
4
way.
episodes or 4 seasons?
Season. Sorry, season 4 seasons.
I haven't
Is
even
it 4
started
seasons?
yet.
I don't know how many seasons it is.
No.
But no, so when this whole lockdown period started, then we approached one of our clients, Mr. Fahim Abbas, the great,
Mr. Fahim.
and we asked him, was that do you have any messages that you'd like to put out? So what we did was we actually sent an email to all of our clients and said that we're in this with you, and we'll come out stronger for sure. And
I like that even, by the way. That
you did?
email felt
Yeah.
very nice.
Yeah, so
I read it again, by the way, yesterday.
oh, you did.
Yes.
So,
But after reading that, I had to archive it because I was cleaning up my inbox. But
okay,
it felt nice reading it again. It was sweet.
Great.
I think the written word and has people need to appreciate good written word. It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, continue.
So he said. So we asked him. I got on a call with him, or Nagin got on a call with him, and we asked him like, what do you have to say? Like, what would you want to communicate right now to the world? And he said something as so simple that spend this time reading, spend this time learning, but most importantly, reading. Read. And I think that the biggest take home for me also is that this period has allowed me to absorb more, be more aware of what's happening, be more aware of what can be done, but also absorb the knowledge which you would not have been able to absorb in the past because of your fast-paced lives or because of just the lack of
Yeah.
time. Clearly, like just something as simple as that, also just not having the time or energy to do so. But spend this time on yourself.
I like that. I like what Fahim said, because I mean we can ponder about why this is happening and why this is bad and all that stuff. But that's the card we're dealt with. So what can we do for ourselves right now? I mean, yes, a lot of delivering of things, a lot of not physical delivering, but like even tasks and opportunities you can deliver on right now. But what you can do is double down, triple down on your learning, so that when this is over, you are ready to bounce and ready to attack. Like attack is the wrong word, but I understand his thing about reading. I love reading. I'll read so much. Maybe not full books because that's a commitment to be made, but I read books also. But I read also articles, and I've read articles and I've listened to people. I mean, I've been absorbing more than delivering, and I used to do that before, but I'm doing that a lot more right now because all the things that I could do right now, they can also wait. I mean, nothing is changing in the world. Things
Yeah.
can go a little slower. It's okay. But in that time, I get to absorb. I have not watched a single minute of television. I've actually watched one episode of my favorite show once in the whole of 1 month. And that episode I've seen like 4 times before,
Of West Wing.
of The West Wing. And that episode is called Let Bartlett Be Bartlett. It's in the first season. Just to give myself some pump. I haven't watched a single piece of TV. Yes, I've listened to some nice music to lift me up. Some comedy once in a while to appreciate that. on YouTube. But other than that, I've been reading, absorbing,
Yeah.
listening to people. Tyler Cowen's and his blog, Seth Godin and his blog, his podcast by Peter Attia, Tim Ferriss, and the third one was the James Altucher show.
Yeah.
Amazing. They have so much time. They're doubling and tripling down on at the rate of podcasts they're creating.
Yeah.
Like they used to create once a week or twice a week. Now the James Altucher has like 7-8 a day. Oh, sorry, a week.
Yeah.
Then you got David Rubin, and you got, and there is so much. I'm so glad the world has stopped in a way, and I shouldn't say this, but whatever's happened is bad. We understand that, but the world pausing lets me absorb more without having to worry about trying to catch up to everybody else's work. The world stopped. Everybody is stopping, and I'm laughing at people who are not taking this time to learn more.
Yeah.
Because
And
right now,
don't get overwhelmed by it. You don't have to necessarily. I personally think you don't necessarily have to go ham with it and like let it become the sole purpose of your existence in this
But
time.
you know something? I
But
like that. I like reading. Now, see, so my point here was to tell you that I love reading.
Yeah.
I couldn't get enough of it because I had to deliver stuff on, like
Yeah.
teach and this and that. But now everything stopped. I can double down on what I love to do more because the world has stopped.
Yeah.
And that's, but
So
I
this is what I
understand
mean is that for the people listening,
that. Yeah.
it can sound a little contradictory as at one point we say slow down, take a breather. But that's how you're taking your breather.
Yeah. My
That's,
breather is
that is
doing-
your way
yeah.
to be in the moment.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
if for you, if the this is allowing you to be the polymath that you might be,
Yeah. I don't know, but
right?
I'm trying to be a polymath. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And for others, this might be that time to focus on their physical well-being, on their mental well-being,
Yeah.
on their art, on anything at all.
That
Yeah.
art reminds me, I'd love to learn music in this time. I think that's one thing that I have not conquered, or at least tried to conquer, even though I find it one of the most powerful things in the world. The written word and music.
Mm.
Both things I want to take a dab at now.
Do it.
But yeah, I think we should. There's definitely happening a couple of more episodes of this with you during
Yeah.
this time happening soon again.
Yeah.
Till the next cup of coffee, bar.
To the next cup of coffee. New show, Cup of Coffee with Bilal Nasad.
This is always a new show, man.
Yeah.
Chalo.
It was a good one.
It is. It was.
To the next one. Peace out.
Done, sir. Thank you for coming by.
No worries. No worries.
All right, everybody.
And yes, we're still 6 feet away. We're not cuddling right now.
Yeah. Our minds are.
Our minds are, but we're not. Physically, we're not.
All right. Till the next cup of coffee, guys. All
Bye-bye.
right. Bye-bye.